What's up everyone, my name is Vivian from ThePaperLetterBlog and welcome to another chatty Penpal tutorial. Now, yes, you can see me talking on screen, but I'm actually doing a voiceover because I thought I could make this a little bit more clear. This video is separated into two parts. First up, we will create a Penpal project, turning this craft paper cardstock into an adorable flip book. And the second part will be an unboxing of that box you see on the right, which is the Yourcreativestudio box. Now, I always film the unboxing of the box of the stationery goodies, but because most of you or many of you might be here for the Penpal project, I have decided to put the unboxing at the end. So while you look at these beautiful Instagram pictures from people who have used my tutorials, I am going to quickly explain what we will be doing. This video is separated into chapters, so if you're really keen on watching this in chronological order, you can just click the chapter for the unboxing first and then come back to the Penpal tutorial. Here's a little sneak peek of some of the things that are in here. It's obviously butterfly themed and I absolutely love it. I have to say this is my favorite box to date, which says a lot because I've received quite a few. But I'm actually going to make a flip book out of that craft paper. My idea was to make 4 individual, or make like different pages, but create one whole, so that if you open it up fully, it will be one large collage rather than individual pages. So that's what you're going to watch me do. Grab yourself a cup of coffee or tea, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. Of course, I will be talking you through with my steps, I guess. The first thing I did is pick a tea that one of you has sent me. It was a tea with probiotics, which I could really use right now because I am actually ill. The first thing I'm doing here is I'm making a mistake, or not necessarily a mistake, but I changed my mind because I wanted to make 4 individual panels, but then once I had actually scored and folded it, I realized that I would like it more if it was 3 panels with the left and the right flap closing to the middle, and then the middle being one large hole. So I had a clear idea in mind, and right off the bat, like the first thing I do is change that idea, which is why I usually just go with the flow. But I could actually use the probiotics right now because I'm sick again. It's so unfair. I had the flu 2 weeks ago. You can't hear it now because I'm really trying my best to like talk fluently and everything, but I have a very sore throat and I feel like I am gonna have the flu again. It's unfair, you guys. I eat my vegetables, I have my fruits, I drink tons of water these days. Like, I'm getting better at all of that. But yet again, I am having the flu. Okay, fingers crossed it's not gonna last. So in this box, if you decided to first watch the Penpal video, are these adorable / beautiful, I'm very pleased with them, butterfly cling stamps. I don't know what you call this specific type of stamp, but I feel like they are called cling stamps. So you could have them stick to a block, but I just decided to use them as is because that kind of works. And I have some tracing paper, which I just bought at Hema, which is a Dutch store. You can find tracing paper in any place that you can buy sewing supplies, because this is used for tracing patterns onto clothing or fabric that you want to turn into clothing. Doesn't matter. It's tracing paper. It's super cheap and it looks really cool. So what I did is I obviously stamped some of the butterflies on there to create my own pattern paper. It's going rather fast, but I always want to get this first part out of the way, but I promise you the decorating and everything will be a little bit slower. But as you can see, I got an idea pretty fast. I knew that I wanted to use the large butterflies, but they're very thick, like they're cardstock, and they're really pretty, but if I want to make one collage, I wanted to overlap the fold lines, and with these they would be too thick. And then I realized, as you can see, that I could actually remove the image from the backing, so that you are left with just the image. and not the bulk. And that actually worked out really well. I mean, I did obviously, the images are not perfectly intact. I might have cut through it with my craft knife, but it did work out the way I hoped it would. So I'm going to use those butterflies to create the first part of my overlapping kind of collage. You will see what I mean with that shortly, because I usually work within certain boundaries. I don't know if that makes sense, but I would always decorate the left panel as an individual page. The middle panel would be its own individual page, and the right panel would also be its own individual page. And I really wanted to try and challenge myself. It sounds so simple, but I just wanted to try and overlap a little bit so that it would become one whole. I hope this makes sense. It's really not that difficult. The concept is really not that difficult, but for some reason I just never really do that. So obviously the first thing to do is literally overlap, literally cover up the fold line so that one page blends into the next. I really hope that makes sense, but I thought this was a good challenge for me. Okay, I can already notice that I'm done with the speaking clearly. I used up all my energy, so if I make any mistakes, then I apologize. The pages, the little pages that I'm using here are also in the books, which I think is pretty cool. I myself have a ton of vintage books. Just a ton of vintage books, both the ones with the images, the illustrations that I cut out, as well as just regular reading books. I don't know. See, there goes my brain. That I just use for things like decorating. Okay, but my point was, I have those books, but I know a lot of people do not own them because sometimes they're hard to find, and also, let's be realistic, they take up a lot of space, especially if you have multiple like me. So I really like that Yourcreativestudio included a pack of those pages in here. I completely forgot to mention this. I did mention it in the original introduction. Sorry, I'm just putting my legs up on the chair. I did mention it in the original introduction, but I received these books for free. Amanda sometimes sends me... I always say Amanda because I'm pretty sure that's the name, but I really hope I haven't accidentally learned the wrong name. But every once in a while, they will message me and say, hey, would you like books? And I always say, what is the theme? Because sometimes themes speak to you and sometimes they don't. And then I got a reply message that said butterflies, and I immediately knew, heck yes, butterflies, love that. I'm obsessed with butterflies, not even gonna lie. Not even overreacting is what I meant to say. So I knew that this box would spark my creativity. And also a ton of things in here are so pretty and original to this box. For example, the butterfly images, the stamps, the stickers, all of them are her own design. So you can't even find these anywhere else. Like, oh yeah, this is where I realized that I decorated a part of the page I was supposed to cut off. It still looks kind of okay. So I thought that the label would be on the page in full, but obviously I cut off a part, but it still looks kind of cool. Because when I first started receiving this box, or when I look at the subscription boxes in general, my problem, between air quotes, is that a lot of them have like AliExpress goodies. For example, these labels. You could typically find something like that on AliExpress as well, which is not a negative. But to me, I didn't really see the value in that for myself, because I used to shop on AliExpress so often. But now that I, first of all, don't shop on AliExpress anymore, sometimes, really rarely, now that I don't do that anymore, and now that there are so many original goodies in this box that are like Yourcreativestudio originals. I already said that. It just feels like there's a lot more added value to that. That's all I was trying to say. So the next thing I'm doing is I'm creating a little envelope, but I mess up royally. I wanted to use that envelope die, but it was too small to fit the stickers, so then I thought I could wing it, but I didn't really think about it, and I keep messing it up, and it's not pretty, so I'm gonna fix it another way, which you will see in a second. The reason why I crumpled it up is not because I was angry, not because I was rage quitting, but because I had folded it so many times it had fold lines, and I figured if I would just crumple it up, it would look like that was supposed to be the way the paper was, like it was an extra effect rather than me messing up. So now that I folded the paper, it looks normal again. Just go with the flow and fix your mistakes as you go. Oh my god, unintentional rhyme. Just quickly gonna listen to my own voiceover to see if my voice and everything is okay. I'm taking a little break from talking. Okay, I'm back. So far, I seem to have done quite okay, minus the speaking errors. What I did here is I used the circle punch to create like a notch. I always think it's called a notch. I don't know if it is. Like take half a circle out of the envelope so that you can see that you can take the goodies out. It has like an aesthetically pleasing look. But because it's such weird paper, this is really cool paper, by the way, in case I didn't say it yet. I definitely didn't, but it has actual leaves and flower petals in it. Like they are not printed on. That's real. I think that's really cool for a subscription box. Like I said, I will do the unboxing at the end of this to show you in full. But because that paper, it doesn't really work well with the punch, so it got stuck. The reason why I taped that die cut to the front is not because that's where it's going to go, it's just because I needed, I knew that I was going to put that on the front. And I also knew that I would probably lose it if I didn't stick it on with washi tape. Now, obviously, because the butterflies are still a little bit thick, and because in general I covered up the fold line, it is a little bit difficult to close the Flipbook, which is why I keep running my bone folder, the blue tool, over it to flatten it a little bit more. But if I were to do it again, I would probably use the stickers that came with this pack, the yellow butterfly that I used for the middle, because of course they're a lot thinner. But I really liked those butterfly die cuts in general. I have not, have to tell you this, sent this out yet. It is patiently waiting for a receiver. I do have someone in mind, but I just haven't been able to finish it, I guess. I have been very good with sending out mail. At least yesterday I sent out a bunch of mails. I sent out a Penpal letter. Finally, my pen pals have to wait for quite a while because I'm super slow, but that's just the way I am. So if anyone is upset by that, then I don't know. It doesn't make sense because I always tell people right at the front. Very good story, but a pen pal letter is what I was saying. I've sent out a postcard for Patreon. Basically, I try to do little extra things for Patreon here and there. So everyone who has filled out their address and who is in the member tier is in an automatic draw for a random postcard. I don't really do this once every X amount of weeks. I just, whenever I feel like writing a postcard, I send one out. So that could be one a month or two a month or one every 2 months. I really like having that freedom. So I sent out a postcard, a really lovely postcard, I might add, that I received in another subscription, which that video should be online soon. It's one of the Patreon subscriptions that I decided to get for a little bit. And I sent it in a clear envelope with flowers on it. I don't know if anyone cares about this, but I really liked it. It's on Instagram if you would like to see. All of the envelopes are on Instagram. If you don't follow me yet, you should definitely follow me on Instagram. I'm just going to ramble on. And then 2 more things I've sent out are P.O. Box replies. So I have a P.O. Box for subscribers, and I randomly pick people to surprise, to reply to is what I was going to say. And I sent out 2, one to the UK and one to Canada. So they're going to take a while to reach, but that was exciting. I really love dropping off piles of mail. What I was doing here is I collected all of these flat, what are they called? Magnets. As you can see, some of them had like packaging on it because, for example, very random, but my mom bought a new kitchen knife and the packaging of that had magnets in it. And she was like, Viv, I know you. Do you have any use for these little magnets? And I said yes. So we cut them out of the packaging and I had been collecting them and I just knew that this flipbook needed a magnet closure. So I'm gluing the magnets down, but I think it comes off again. I don't know. It took me a while to get these on there properly. And then what I'm also doing is I am sticking a ton of paper collage strips, like paper strips, over the stamp because I was so afraid that it would just come undone. So I'm just collaging on top of the magnets to keep them in place, basically. I have been trying to do a less is more approach, and this, at least the collaging underneath the die cut, is definitely more. And I don't necessarily, if I could do it again, I would do less paper strips. I've seen people on Instagram do like really beautiful collages with all of the paper strips. Mine is not 100% the way I wanted it to be, but I'm learning. So if I could do it again, I would use less, but I still like it. As you can see, I don't think I did that on camera, did I? I also decorated or collaged on the bottom of the die cut on the left to cover up the stamp. I have washi tape, I have a stamp. Not cover up the stamp, cover up the magnet. And then the quote I wrote is, "You are more than enough. You are more than enough." That's all I've got to say. This is me including some goodies. We have some of the sticky notes that came with the pack, some of the die cuts, and some labels from my personal stash. Obviously, had to include some washi dots. Usually when I have a receiver, because this one did not have a receiver yet, usually when I have a receiver I will add more goodies depending on how much space I have left. For example, if I write a 1-page letter, then I might have some weight left, like 2 stamps is 50 grams. I might have some weight left for more goodies. If I write a longer letter, then maybe not. You know, it kind of depends on who I'm sending it to and what I've sent them before. So that was Noes. Baby, that was the Penpal Flipbook. If you're still here, you are now going to watch the unboxing, which I will also talk you through, obviously. Okay, so the first thing I grabbed was immediately a winner in my book. It's these cling stamps in a butterfly theme. There's one more pack of these, a different one somewhere in the box. Absolutely love that, completely my style, and I will use them much more often. The next item is these kind of cardstock die cuts. I think they're, as you can see, very sturdy. They're quite thick. And you could use them, I guess, for collaging, which might be a little bit difficult because they are quite thick. Excuse me. Or just to write a little message on the back, like they are as sturdy as a postcard, which is pretty cool. They have all of these different butterflies, and these kind of cards with butterfly images. This one is my favorite. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. And the images are the same as the same images as the stickers and everything else. So there's that. Very cool. Really like that. I also really liked, because I've had this box for 2 or 3 weeks already, maybe even longer, a month, let's say a month. I've already added a couple of them into mails. I was super confused by this. It looks like a bookmark, but there's space to write a message on the inside. I don't know what that was. But it was cute. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm supposed to do with that. But this I do know what to do with. They are these clear, I guess you would call them pet stickers, from all of these gorgeous butterflies. The colors are so vibrant. I didn't end up using them in this video, but I definitely love them. This is the book pages. They are not actual book pages, but they are just made to look vintage. But it's a huge stack. And it does look, it looks like authentic, actual vintage. And there's a large variety. The pages are a little bit, like it's like mathematical type pages, which is not something I would typically go for, but it is original. And I think that because it has grid and everything, I will get good use out of them. I haven't used these yet, but the next item is butterfly type stamps. There's a variety of stamps. I'm not going to show you all of them. You basically get the idea. There was also stamp stickers in the... Sorry, I just had to randomly cut that off because the neighbor's kid was screeching out of joy, but still very loud. There was also stamp stickers in the previous box, but in the previous box I received, but I don't receive all of them. I just cherry pick the ones I like. This next item, love, love, love. You could see me give it a thumbs up because they are label stickers, but they don't have that glossy finish. That came out really weird. They have a paper feel and a paper look to them, which I much prefer, because if they were glossy, like for example these stamps we received, you wouldn't be able to write on them. But because they are paper, they feel like paper, they blend in really nicely. Absolutely love that. The next one, the next cling stamp you saw, of course, absolutely loved that as well. Like I said, I do receive this box for free, but I'm so positive, and that is genuine because I love everything in this box. Next up is some butterfly sticker flakes. I have to admit, this is not something I would typically pick. I love including these for goodies, but I rarely use them myself. I think they're fun to put in a little gift bag because they will look pretty, but I personally am not. I would much prefer stickers like these that have a matte finish over the ones with a glossy finish. That's just personal preference. I still like sending them out as gifts, but I would use the other butterfly stickers more easily because they have that matte finish. This always makes me giggle. I don't know if no one has corrected it or if it's a personal, like a little joke, but the sticky notes are her own design, and they always say stick note, not sticky, stick note. Then also included is the same design on a paper pad, like a pack of papers. Love that. I'm very sad because I wanted to use them for something, but I don't know where I've left them. I'm a messy person, that's for sure, but I already looked in all of the places I could think of that I would typically put them in. But I can't find them. I really like them because they have the same butterfly design, but also some extra elements such as botanical elements. Then these pages are obviously another favorite because they have real dried flower petals and leaves in them. I think that's so cool. I definitely, I don't know. I think that's a really, really cool gift and a really good way to end this video. If you've made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. I really hope you liked the project that we made. I would love to know from you what your favorite item in this pack was. For me, it's going to be hard to decide, but if I had to choose one item I could keep, it would be the butterfly stamps. But in all honesty, I quite like all of it. Thank you also to my patrons. We have some awesome new people who joined the craft club, and of course all of these people who have been here for longer. I very much appreciate all of you, and I will talk to you again soon. Okie dokie, bye!